So you may be wondering why I got all dressed up special for this video. Well, as the word implies, today we're looking at something special and it's kind of unique for me. Let's get into this. All right, welcome to another episode of Paul's Collectibles. It's good to have you. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about a box of another one of these army builder figures. Well, it's not actually an army builder, but I'll get to that later. Quite a while ago, probably a few months, if not last year, I did an entire video on how to do the ISB agent costume. And I had a great time and it was a lot of fun. And then subsequently thereafter, a few months later, Hasbro announced another one of these army builder packs that was going to have a bunch of Imperial officers in it. And as usual, one side has the 4 officers, but the other side has 8 pictures of different officers and things like that, only 4 of which would be inside the box. Now here's where the tie-in to me and Paul's Collectibles comes. My buddy, Steve-O, over at Collecting Star Wars, noticed that on the box, one of the mock-ups of a figure that's not actually in the box, unfortunately, looks strikingly like yours truly. And I got a kick out of it because he made a Twitter post and said that it's pretty clear that Hasbro is a fan of Paul's Collectibles. So today I thought I would redon my ISB agent uniform and then we would take a look at this new package of 4 Imperial officers from the vintage collection. Okay, so there's the one side of the box right there, and I love how they give you a bunch of different officers. This is the guy that supposedly looks like me, and then there's some just other mock-ups in the background here. And then they've got this generic officer. This is obviously Admiral Motti. I love the fact that he's pulling his collar away as if Darth Vader is choking him as in the movie. That's Admiral Piett, obviously. And then this is just another generic ISB guy. He almost looks maybe Hispanic or Asian. And inside, as usual, they put them in lettered bags, A, B, C, and D, in that wax mylar tissue paper to keep them safe. Let's get them out of there and take a look at them. Okay, so there's the 4 figures out of the box. Over here we have Admiral Piett, and there's Admiral Motti, and then the 2 generic guys. And as you can see, all of them come with hats. These hats are removable, except for Admiral Motti. And each of them came with at least 1 pistol. These 2 guys both came with the E11 and then the side blaster, and they have holsters as well. But let's take a quick look at Admiral Piett here. As you can see, the face sculpt is really good. His hat comes off like that. It's not too bad at all. They did a pretty good job. And you put that back on, and he's got the corrected Admiral rank as opposed to the one that we got on the card. And he's just got the pistol. And interestingly, on the sides here, they've cut their tunics, as you can see, so that they can be posed. The boots are nice and shiny. I really like that. They did a good job on those. But overall, a really good looking figure. Next up is Admiral Motti. Once again, I think that's the appropriate rank, and he has different code cylinders as opposed to the previous figure. So they are changing up the body sculpt on these as well. And the head sculpt on that looks really good. I think they did a good job on that one as well. It actually looks like him. And pretty much the same character otherwise. Comes with the 1 pistol and no holster. Next up is generic Imperial Officer number 1. This guy also has the removable hat, as you can see. He's got some dark black hair there. I'm not sure if he's Asian or Hispanic. It's kind of hard to tell. And he has the rank of what looks like a captain, I think is what that is from Empire Strikes Back. But he's got the holster here. And his pistol will fit in there, as you can see. It's really, really small, but the holster is like a shiny black. I like that. And he's got the E11 blaster as well. Also, the same thing, he has those creases in his tunic so he can be posed if you want. And then finally, as you might imagine, my favorite guy out of the bunch, this is the ISB agent. He's wearing an Admiral's rank. Looks like he's wearing almost the same rank as Krennic was from Rogue One. And he's got a little bit of a goatee and a little bit of a mustache as well. His hat also comes off and he's got kind of a grayish salt and pepper hair. And he also has the holster and the creases in his tunic as well. And interestingly, none of these guys have the silver boxes that we see later on from a bunch of the characters in some of the other media, just the plain belts. But there you have it, just a quick look at the 4-pack of Imperial officers. And as I mentioned, they call these army builders, but this is clearly not an army builder, as each one of these characters is fairly unique. So this is more like a 4-pack that's not on cards. Once again, I would have loved for them to have carded these two figures for us and then given us two other army building type of generic Imperial officers to go with our setups, but they didn't do that. So I think they're really going to have to decide what direction they're going with on these army builder packs per se, to decide if they're actually going to be that, or they're going to keep packing unique characters in there, because they've started to do that all the way back with, I believe it was that 212th Attack Battalion that had Waxer in it. And in closing, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, maybe consider doing that for me. That's a great way to support my efforts here at Paul's Collectibles. And if you're already a subscriber or someone who's been watching my videos for a really long time, you know I greatly appreciate you. But with that, I'll see you on the next video.